Welcome back, YouTube. We're down in the basement. We got the wood brought in. This stuff is at least a year or 2 years old. It's usually on the back of the pile over here. This is 4 rows deep. What I don't burn, I move over here for the next season. Back over here is all season stuff. So most of this right here, oak, cherry, maple, a mix, is not really green. It's been cut down for 6-8 months, split, but it's here. But when that Nasher was running and keeping this basement at 100 degrees or so, 24/7, no issues with this. But the real reason that I'm here is because I'm back with another 266 video. Okay, just when I thought I was done with it, and you probably hoped I was done with it, I had some issues. So let's head on over to the bench, and I'll show you what I had for an issue. All right. All right, so we'll just get this out of the way now. I never realized like a C83 is a 50 gauge. This 75 is a 63 gauge, and the 85 is a 58. I just never paid any attention to that stuff. I always went with a 50 gauge 3/8 from my local dealer, but I did learn that. But anyhow, now that that's out of the way, so you guys have seen the saw run with the 24-inch 50 gauge. It oiled, it worked well, it cut well. You've seen it run the 32-inch bar, and it worked well. I think I started noticing, maybe, possibly looking at the change now, maybe I noticed a little bit that it wasn't oiling real well, but long bar and what that oil pump puts out. But the real problem that I ran into is when I got this 20-inch bar that came with this saw. And again, this saw never ran. It hasn't run in years, so I never used it. It came with a pretty decent looking chain here, you know, the 58 gauge. It didn't look all that bad. All right, but the problem that I ran into when I put this chain on here in bar, that as loose as this is, okay, as loose as this is, I would run that for a couple of minutes, sometimes not even that long, and that thing would be tight. You know, you couldn't even roll the chain. Okay, let me bring you down in here. All right, so you know where we're at here. I had a lot of chain spin with this, which, you know, not uncommon. Longer bar versus shorter bar, less drag with the shorter bar, but it's still not right. The clutch has a brand new spring on here. So anyways, let me zoom you in here. So again, if I haven't mentioned this before, you know, we're not oiling. We're getting bound up. Okay, now, so what I did for the chain spin is I put a little washer spacing out on the end of the clutch, because it's the coarse thread clutch. Okay, and that made it spin real free. Okay, nice and easy. Okay, so once it started doing it again, you know, you run a 50 gauge chain on it, the thing runs fine. It oils. You put the 58 on it, it won't do it. There's something really weird there. Okay, but what I did notice after dealing with this for quite some time, that it's kind of hard to see in here. You got your rim sprocket there. Now that rim sprocket was right up tight against the drum. Okay, you can see that moves. On most saws, this goes back and forth. Okay, you guys know what you're looking at right there. But I did notice with the 58 gauge chain on it, we were tight. You couldn't even move that. All right, so what it ended up being, in all reality, is why they get rid of these coarse thread clutches right there. It's just bowed out so much that that clutch drum is going in far enough. Let me see here. That clutch drum is moving in so far, going in toward the saw, that it was binding. So what I ended up doing is on the end of this bar, right here, right where your drivers enter, I just beveled the groove. I beveled it on each side, and it took care of it. It's nice. Now it does need a clutch, but I totally didn't expect that. So probably some of you guys have run across this. That's the whole reason they get rid of these clutches with the coarse thread, because it just jams on, and it's just so easy if that clutch is loose to just keep smashing the end of this out and creating a big problem. So anyhow, I hope this might help somebody. A lot of you guys know it, but I appreciate you watching, and as soon as I get a clutch, now this saw will be ready to roll and be out of my life. Thank you.